welcome back to Medium Cool. Let's get right into it.
Yeah?
How are things? You just came back from a trip?
I had a good trip. Definitely have the vacation blues,
Yeah, the post-vacation blues.
Mm-hmm.
Post-vacation depression.
Yeah. You have like a really good trip, and then you get back to your small apartment. You have to go out and get food, buy new groceries, get back in the swing of things. It's like, you just needed a day. Everyone deserves a day after a vacation and just like accustom themselves again,
Yeah, bro. I feel that. You gotta chill out for a sec,
Even though the vacation was meant to be where you chill.
Yeah.
You still feel like the distinct shift from where you visited to going back home. You kind of have to take a minute.
Especially because you're having so much fun up there. I just spent the last week, I was kind of sick, dude. I had a sore throat that was I lasted the whole week pretty much.
Really?
So yeah, until probably Friday I was fine. Saturday I finally got to go for a run, which felt really great.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't been on a run for a while and shit. I'm honestly a little bit sore from last night, dude. From the exercise I got, kind of got some ab workout. Do you ever get that?
Yeah, I get that quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't used your abs in a while and you do some intense workout stuff,
Yeah.
Really going hard on it last night.
Yeah.
And I was didn't realize that I was gonna be this sore, honestly.
Your ass kind of hurts too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does, yeah.
It's just kind of use muscles you never really use.
No, you haven't used them in a while, yeah. But I run a lot, and I don't really get sore from running anymore. I don't really necessarily use my abs that much when I run, except when I'm running up a hill. But that's a lot of ass muscles. I was definitely using my abs last night.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
What else have you been up to?
I've just been watching pictures.
Yeah?
Yeah, hung out with Jake. We watched Blood and Black Lace with Cal, the storyboard artist.
Oh, Cal, that guy, he's really cool.
Yeah. And I saw a citizen, an investigation of a citizen under suspicion.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Criterion on Tubi. I watched The Piano Teacher, and I watched The Wizard of Gore by Herschel Gordon Lewis, who's considered the godfather of gore, alongside Lucio Fulci.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Lucio Fulci, Herschel Gordon Lewis are considered the godfathers of gore.
In terms of what? What's gore to you? Is it practical, blood and all these different props used in death scenes, or what makes gore to you?
Before Herschel Gordon Lewis, it was when you saw blood, it was just dropped. You just see the liquid. But when it came to gore effects, it's no, you're seeing chunks of flesh from inside the body and pieces of body matter in a way that was very innovative for its time. And he was making gore shows and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. Pushing that
farther.
And
Lucio Fulci took it to a whole new level, whole different level with his gore effects and stuff.
Oh yeah?
Even more than Dario Argento.
I didn't really get time to watch that many pictures myself. The only thing I watched two things. I watched The Harder They Fall, the Western on Netflix, and then I watched Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue is a masterpiece, right?
Perfect Blue is really good, dude. By Satoshi Kon?
Satoshi Kon.
Satoshi Kon. Yeah, it's so fucking good, dude. The editing in it, the unreliable narrator, you kind of don't really know what's going on, and just the way everything plays out. I was watching it with a friend that really liked it too, and we just geeked out over it the whole time, because it's there's something so fucking cool about that movie.
Yeah, I think Perfect Blue is a good entry point for people who don't watch anime or don't like anime.
Yeah.
They can watch Perfect Blue and enjoy it just as much as any other psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite Japanese animated films.
Yeah.
It's up there with all those Hayao Miyazaki movies, even though it's a totally different audience that's probably watching it, because Hayao Miyazaki is very much family orientated, and Satoshi Kon is more wild, type adult, mature stuff. Definitely Perfect Blue is very mature.
It is. The thing I love about Perfect Blue, and they do this under animes like Cowboy Bebop and whatnot, when they frame a single shot, it's as if they're using a real camera. So when they animate it, it's from a certain angle. I just love like when they're on the ship in Cowboy Bebop and there's a camera underneath the coffee table aiming up at them on the couch. Like that, something so creative about that. And in Perfect Blue, you can tell that it's like, okay, we're going to frame it like this as if we're using like a 35 millimeter, but then we're going to frame this shot as if we're using like a 70 millimeter, you know?
It's very cinematic.
Yeah, it's very cinematic. And that's what really holds the movie all together for me is like, yes, it is very creative. It can push the boundaries because it is animated, but at the same time, it is based in some kind of cinematic language. And the editing, the editing's so good. Just like where she'll like be dancing on the stage and she'll turn her head and then she'll hit the pillow in her like apartment, you know?
Yeah.
Just the cuts are so
like
good.
the match cuts and everything. Satoshi Kon's editing is insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Paprika yet. Everyone tells me that's really trippy, but I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, Paprika, the first time I saw that, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then I read about it and I'm like, oh, this is actually really sick. But that inspired Inception and shit. There's so much stuff in Inception that was in Paprika before.
Really?
Yeah. You can look it up on YouTube. There's clips of that. Do you want to give us like a little refresher on the plot? What Perfect Blue is about?
So it follows this J-pop singer named Mima, and she's trying to transition into being an actress. She's young. She's really talented. In order for her to get like kind of an acting start, she kind of has to go through the ringer of like taking shitty roles. So she takes a shitty role on like essentially a CSI cop procedural drama show. She's kind of forced down this path where she has to like do certain things that she doesn't want to do. So it's like, oh, there's a nude scene or there's a rape scene or you want to do nude photographs or something like that. And you kind of get the sense that the industry starts to like abuse her in a way. And she starts to like kind of lose touch with reality. And she has a hard time finding out what's real and what's not real because at the same time, there's also this website, and this is early websites, you know, like this early internet where you had to
this movie came out in 1997, by the way.
Yeah, she had this chat room where it's called Mima's Room. It's telling her fans everything she's doing in the day as if she's writing it on there, but she's not. So she kind of starts to lose a little bit of like touch with reality and what's going on. The editing definitely plays with that. As the deeper you get into the movie, the harder the audience can figure out what's going on.
It's a big thing about the blurred lines of reality in this movie. They really play with the drama of the cop show and her real life, because sometimes you're like, oh, this is her in real life, and it's like, oh, you hear like the director yell like cut, and it's actually a scene from her show, and then you're like, oh no, is this real? Like, is this in the show? Or maybe that, like, watching that nowadays might be like a little bit overdone, and we've probably seen it before, but this movie came out in 1997, which is 25 years ago, and this is like a very novel movie. The subject matter and the style and everything was never really done before in Japanese animated films, you know? Satoshi Kon this is his directorial debut, by the way. Which is fucking amazing. Like that's one of the greatest directorial debuts of all time, for sure. But he was basically just a TV animator. He animated like the OG JoJo Bizarre Adventure, you know? And he was like, I think he was a writer as well. But, you know, he was like unknown in this period. So he was just hired to do this TV. Basically, it was going to be just a straight-to-video TV movie. He made the movie and stuff, and they were like, okay, well, we're going to look for like maybe some distribution or something. So we'll put it into Fantasia Film Festival. And the way they were marketing it was, since he was unknown, they marketed it as he's like a disciple to the director of Akira. I forgot his name, but the director of Akira is like, oh, this is an up-and-coming disciple to this director who made Akira, because Akira was a hit.
Akira is huge.
Yeah. It played at the festival, and like right after it played, like people were like, yo, like we need to set up another screen. People want to see this movie again. You know, it was only supposed to just show like one time, whatever. And then there was like so much hype built around it that all these distributors from other countries, all these film festivals were like sending invites to them. And then eventually like kind of caught fire in the way and became this unexpected hit. That was like his first movie and shit.
He influenced a lot of people from like a lot of the framing and shots he has, specifically like Darren Aronofsky. shots in Requiem for a Dream or even Black Swan, kind of the whole, split personality, the villain is you, a darker version of you kind of take.
It's very Hitchcockian as well. Like, this fits under that Hitchcockian genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, with like the psychological killer, like kind of like a split personality killer. And the kills are cool. It's almost like a giallo, where like the kills are like a set piece. You know what I mean? And it's this mystery that you kind of have to solve. And once it's revealed to you, it's really cool. It really like pays off in like a big way.
Yeah, the original writer of I think it's like either based on a short story or a novel or a book or something or a manga. The guy was like told Satoshi Kon. He said, okay, like, you can do whatever you want with this, but I need like these 3 elements still in the movie. The 3 things that the writer wanted: the main character is a B-grade idol, she has a rabid fan / stalker, and that it has to be a horror film. Those are like the 3 stipulations, so that then he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, that's cool, because that's definitely those 3 things I feel like are kind of pillars of like the story.
Yeah.
The rabid fan, the red herring of this stalker, following her. I really love the way they play around with that, because the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this guy's like fucking creepy. This guy's a killer. And then the next times I watched it, I was like, this guy's like fucking sad. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really all there. You can kind of tell he's kind of lost all his marbles a little bit.
Yeah, it's a commentary on fame and attention. And like not really knowing someone. You just know them for like their pop status, and the fact that when someone in their life decides to make a change, to do something different, how like the fans will like be really toxic because they don't want them to do that. But it's like they're not living their lives, you know? Like they just decide to go a different track. Like she's like a K-pop star, and then she wants to become an actor, and you see like that transition. Also, the pressure of that adds to her whole anxiety and paranoia as well, like switching over. And then it kind of all comes together with that one scene in the club. Like, she decides that she wants to film a rape scene.
Well, they pull, like, the thing is, she says she wants to be an actress, but she gets pulled in all these different directions. It's not really her own like volition that's like causing her to do rape scenes. She's like, okay, my manager says this is going to be really good. This is going to be good for my career. I have to do this. I don't want to let the people around me that are entrusting their trust in me and let them down. You know what I mean? So she does the rape scene, and leading up to the rape scene, she said, oh, it's going to be okay. Yeah, sure, I'll do it, And she does it, and there's this great scene where she just has this like complete disassociation to everything around her, just like the cutting with all these guys around her and the lights overhead, and then it cuts to her afterwards. She goes home to her apartment, fucking breaks down, starts breaking everything in her apartment, because like, she's like, why would you think I wanted to do that? Of course I didn't want to do that. I just couldn't say no, Feel that the whole movie, you feel like she's being pulled in all these directions that she doesn't want to go, and it's not good for her. And that kind of plays into the reveal at the end of like, someone tries to control her, like, spoiler at the end. Do you want to spoil it?
Yeah, spoil the shit, dude.
So Rumi, her manager's assistant or whatever, is actually pretending to be her and kind of has a split personality, where one version of Rumi is this killer who's impersonating Mima and is still a K-pop singer. Like, still wants to be a K-pop singer. Never wants to be an actress, That just plays into, like, someone's wanting to pull you in another direction. Someone's wanting you to still be a K-pop singer. Split personality killer, where one version is the manager and the other version is thinking that they themselves are Mima, that is still a K-pop singer and is still the innocent girl that she was before. Once you see it and you watch it again, there's parts when you watch it back where you realize her manager is crying and having this hard time, going through all these emotions, and when you watch it at first you think it's because she cares for Mima, but it's actually because she herself is like, this is my image. She thinks she is Mima. It's really creepy, really, really cool to watch back, and really like a lot of little details in the movie that make it so good.
Yeah, the animation is really great. The way that the storytelling is really great, and the edits really add to the storytelling. They really bring out.
And the sound too.
The music and stuff. It's creepy. It's like so creepy and You know, Japan is very, like, cozy, but also they make it feel, like, very claustrophobic, too.
Yeah.
We just, like, briefed on the influence of this movie. Darren Aronofsky bought the rights to it because he wanted to adapt it, and then he was like, oh, no, I'm just going to, like, use some of the shots that he used in Requiem for a Dream, and then also Black Swan, too. Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream, if you watch those, there's just, like, shots taken from Perfect Blue, and also Paprika inspired Inception, too, as well. Rest in peace, Satoshi Kon, like, you know, an artist that was left too early. Think about all the other cool shit he would have done and stuff. I think we got a couple masterpieces, at least one, and probably one of the greatest directorial debuts of all time. One of the best animated films, period, I think, too. People give animation, like, Japanese animation a hard time because they think it's, like, there's a stigma of, like, nerdom around it, but this one is a very accessible Japanese animated movie. Like, this is something you can show pretty much anyone. And it might even change their mind on anime in general. You want to talk about the new Wesley Anderson picture?
Yeah, the new Wes Anderson picture.
Oh, yeah, the trailer came out.
Yeah.
And everyone's really excited about it. It's going to be playing at the Cannes International Film Festival. It's got a lineup there. Also, the lineup of the cast is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know, obviously all these actors are in it because they're not getting paid their top billed salary. They're getting paid whatever they can just to be in a Wesley Anderson picture.
It's definitely just huge cast. Like, he's just over the past couple of years started to accumulate just these crazy names just to like fill this like huge cast. I don't know. It'll be Wes Anderson. It'll be good, you know, one way or another.
I mean, there might be some little animations in it and stuff, but it looks like it's like live action. It takes place in this, I guess, like this desert kind of town in 1955. For some reason, I thought this was going to be like maybe a science fiction in space Wes Anderson movie, which I was like really looking forward to. That would be crazy if Wes Anderson did like a movie that took place in space. That would be so sick. I feel like I'm getting like kind of Moonrise Kingdom type vibes from it. About like something about these science nerds or I don't know. Something like that. But I think it's maybe even in part going to be a little bit of a disaster type movie. Maybe there's like asteroids coming down in the desert there or some shit like that, and they got to deal with that. I really liked French Dispatch, even though it was a little bit polarizing. But
I liked it a lot, yeah.
I thought it was really unique and cool, and I loved the narratives and the way it was made and stuff. It's not like his most tightly knit film, but it was very ambitious. It's his last picture for sure.
I love French Dispatch. I love the distinct ways they were telling the different stories. I love the way they like kind of embody all these like crazy eclectic characters embody this newspaper company. And they all have these different stories that they tell. They're all so distinctly unique to the person that's reporting on it. And it feels like the visuals change, like even like, you know, the police detective one, when it kind of shifts to cartoon during the chase.
Yeah.
And it feels so like distinctly different, all three of these stories. My favorite one was the prison one. I like that one a lot. Like Benicio del Toro and Léa Seydoux, she was great in it. I just really like the French Dispatch. I know people, you know, are expecting like Grand Budapest, but it was good for what it was.
Yeah, dude, you can't expect Grand Budapest for sure. Nah, but this new movie was also co-written by Roman Coppola. He wrote Moonrise Kingdom, right?
I believe he collaborated with Wes Anderson on Moonrise, but he's a pretty reliable writing partner.
Yeah, Roman Coppola. You got the Coppolas in there. Jason Schwartzman's obviously gonna be in it. William Murray will be in it too. Margot Robbie. Hong Chow, Rupert Fiend from The Death of Stalin.
Oh, really?
The guy who plays Stalin's son.
Yeah.
That guy's so funny.
Yeah, he is.
That guy's a great actor, dude.
He is.
I think he's really underrated.
Yes.
Probably like Tilda Swinton and stuff.
Right.
And Maya Hawke.
Yeah.
Who's kind of up and coming still.
She is.
I don't think she's gotten the right material to really like impress me yet. To like where she's a star. You know what I mean? She's kind of doing these bit roles and stuff.
Yeah, she did like Stranger Things and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and stuff. And kind of blew up from there.
She's blown up, but not in like a way that's like movie star. She's not like starred in anything big, you know. I think she needs to be given that chance to like put it over the fence, you know what I mean, as an actor and not just the daughter of someone. You know? But
she's the daughter of two very cool people. So in my book, she's already like cool. Roman Coppola, he wrote Moonrise Kingdom, and he also wrote Darjeeling Limited.
Okay, cool.
What do you think about, like, what's your favorite Wes Anderson movie? And would you like this to kind of be closer to that movie that you like, or other movies?
Well, obviously, we're gonna get all of the aesthetics of a Wes Anderson picture.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to try to see something different, like maybe outside of his.
Yeah.
Maybe with a narrative, or when I heard of Asteroid City, I thought like I said, I thought it was gonna be like some space shit, and that would have been sick as fuck. Like I want him to do maybe like do something else outside of like the genre.
But he has a very unique genre that's like distinct to him, like some bohemian style of like.
It's gonna be quirky as fuck. It's gonna be like hipstery, you know, even though he's mainstream.
What do you want Asteroid City to be? Like, what kind of style do you want it to be? Do you want to be like super hands-on, like Grand Budapest, every frame is perfect?
So my favorite Wes Anderson movies are probably Grand Budapest and Royal Tenenbaums. I think it's gonna be like that style, so idiosyncratic. Mm-hmm. So symmetrical, like the ways the characters move, the way that camera moves. I think it'll be like that. Mm-hmm. And then we'll throw in some animation here and there. Mm-hmm. I think we'll just do that. I don't know what. It's going to be a Wes Anderson movie. But Royal Tenenbaums is really good. And Grand Budapest Hotel. And then Fantastic Mr. Fox I'm going to throw that in there too.
For me, Royal Tenenbaums, I think is like my favorite one.
Yeah.
I love Darjeeling Limited too. It's like a soft place in my heart because my sister and I watched it together.
I don't want any handheld in this movie.
No handheld?
No. I just want lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want lockdown, gliding camera, perfect timing.
Yeah, I mean, he's fucking amazing at that, dude. Like, just like think about French Dispatch, what he was able to pull off. It was really cool. Dude, you remember the part in French Dispatch when they're going up the stairs and it's like Mon Oncle by Jacques Tati?
Yeah, well, he just like fucking ripped it. He just ripped that right out of the movie.
But it's a great scene in both movies.
Yeah. But he literally just took that. He just took it. It's not even like...
Yeah.
It's not...
I mean, it's paying homage. It's called the French Dispatch.
And he uses like a lot of Godard music that I'm too familiar with. So when I was watching French Dispatch, I heard this song and I was like, oh, this is in masculine feminine. I know this is in masculine feminine. Like, I'm not thinking about how this is Wes Anderson. I'm just thinking about, Wes Anderson's using a Godard score from the 60s.
Yeah, but I mean, it's called the French Dispatch. He had to like kind of like pay homage to the French New Wave in a way. Well, I'm excited for this movie. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see it probably like first week.
It's gonna come out this year.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna hit at Cannes. Probably get a standing ovation, 11-minute standing ovation, because that's what they do at Cannes for everything.
Yeah.
Literally always like, oh, this movie got a 11-minute standing ovation.
Yeah.
And Brendan Fraser cried.
Yeah, and then we go and watch it, and we're like, what the fuck?
We're like... A day ago, got some pretty exciting news. Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler were doing an interview with the Collider for their film Murder Mystery 2.
Is it the second one?
Yeah, Murder Mystery 2 releasing this Friday. Coming up. I saw Murder Mystery 1 with my aunt and my uncle back in 2019 era. When I was living with my aunt and uncle. Yeah, it was alright. I'll probably watch the second one with Luke if he wants to watch it, or maybe I'll put it on the back end of a double feature after I watch a Michael Haneke picture.
Maybe I'll put it on at the end after a Michael Haneke picture.
I'm just trying to sound articulate because I got to work on my speech. Because I got to speak louder because I mumble a lot. I'm not super articulate. I just want to work on improving that for the show.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler basically announced that this summer they're most likely going to start shooting the new Safdie brothers movie. Which I was like, holy shit, fuck yes, dude. Yeah. This is what we need right now, bro. Yeah. We need the Safdie brothers, dude.
Yeah, it's a very it's like a very loose news reveal. You know what I mean? And nothing's solidified yet. Any news I can get about Safdie brothers directing another movie, I'm gonna take it because, dude, I'm gonna watch everything they come out with.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think it's like, I mean, Adam Sandler, like, that's a kind of pretty reliable source, right?
Yeah.
Like the main actor, this big actor, is like, yeah, like we're like try to shoot it this summer. You know, it seems like it's on the way, and that's and I love Uncut Gems, dude.
Uncut Gems is so good.
I love Uncut Gems. I love Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. It's by far my favorite Adam Sandler movie. And when you say Adam Sandler movie, that comes with a certain connotation. Like, this is definitely a Safdie brothers movie with Adam Sandler in it, but I'll say it's an Adam Sandler movie. But when you think of Adam Sandler movie, you think of, like, a Luke movie, you know?
Yeah.
You think about, like, his, like, dumbass comedies and shit, and, like, just the
Grown-ups.
the trash. He's made some trash. He's made some trash. He's made some funny movies, but he's also made some trash. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's my favorite Safdie movie. I might like Good Time a little more, but they're both really, really good, and I'm super excited if this comes to fruition this summer.
Yeah. They're so similar for me, Good Time and Uncut Gems. Personally, I'd probably go with Good Time just because I'm a huge Robert Pattinson fan, and I feel like the story just feels like way more stressful and way more high stakes. But I really like what Uncut Gems is able to bring with its style. I feel like the music and the style just like takes it to another level.
For sure. Definitely they turn it up a little bit. It's like pretty much everything. And I hope this next one they really like swing to, you know?
Yeah, well apparently so what Adam Sandler said is it's gonna have something to do with sports betting. So I can imagine
it's gonna take place in the sports memorabilia world.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's about sports betting, but it might be like something to do with maybe like a ball that's like really valuable.
Yeah.
Or like some shit like that. Sports memorabilia is a very big industry. You know, you see these news articles about these cards of these players being sold for like millions and millions of dollars and stuff. And you see that with like trading cards, see it with Pokemon cards and stuff.
Pokemon cards, yeah, they're huge now, dude.
Yeah, and that's like a really interesting thing, and I it would be cool if they do some sort of revisionist history type thing, which they did with Uncut Gems, where they place it in 2012.
Yeah,
you know, with the whole
Kevin Garnett,
Kevin Garnett Celtics narrative and stuff.
Yeah, like anything they put out, I just want that stress you get in their movies, like like that high stakes that comes through to the audience.
The sound design,
the
editing, the like handheld close-up shots.
Handheld close-ups are like fucking so good, dude.
Erratic characters.
I'm just looking forward to it, and the fact that Adam Sandler is involved again is like that's a cool collaboration because Adam Sandler has a big draw and he brings a lot of like power to like your project.
He's the star, dude. He's always the star.
Yeah, I like that for the Safdie brothers.
Yeah, and they can really like bring him out of his shell, you know. I know he played a serious role in that movie Punch Drunk Love, which I never finished, but by Paul Thomas Anderson. But I heard it's really good.
Yeah, I have a few friends that's their favorite PTA movie.
Yeah, and then Rain on Me.
What is that?
It's like a movie from 2009. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, he's done other things too, like Funny People. Just like
that's a Judd Apatow. It's a Judd Apatow movie.
But I mean, like, what about like the Mankiewicz?
Oh yeah. The Mankiewicz stories. Newman Selected. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fuck with that movie.
Yeah, I feel like he's got like a very diverse range of things, you know?
He does. He has good range when he tries.
I'm excited for it. What do you think? What do you want to see in this?
I just want to see that groundedness, that gritty like groundedness. I love their style and their characters and their world building and how it just feels so grimy and real, and it looks really cool. They got that William Friedkin gritty New York style, you know? And they also got that Buffalo 66 thing going on as well.
Yeah, John Cassavetes kind of look.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to see what they can bring to the table again. Like, I'm super excited. I think cinema needs them. Out of the new generation of the A24 directors, they're definitely up there, like my favorites with like Ari Aster and shit. You know?
Yeah, Robert Eggers.
They're dope, and they're definitely genre auteur type guys.
I think they're so unique. They definitely like embody A24 for me. Where it's like kind of like this like grounded but beautiful looking like gritty movies, like you said, and
it's like mixed with like Bresson as well.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's definitely like a mix. It's like Bresson, like pickpocket, deliberate, like one location to the next, kind of like this like real time thing, and
you can see
and
that.
that's like sleazy too. I love it. I like their characters are always like they're never likable, but they're likable because of how interesting they are. Like,
you're intrigued by all their characters.
Yeah, like Robert Pattinson's character in Good Time. He's such an asshole. He's so irritating and annoying. I'm very enthralled by his determination to like get through this night and how he's just trying to survive the night.
Yeah,
which is sick as fuck. And
He's kind of like an unredeemable guy that has one redeemable quality, which is his brother.
And Adam Sandler is kind of like this sleazy jeweler guy, but he's funny too. He's funny as fuck.
Yeah. He's so sleazy, but he does have a big like soft spot.
Yeah, and I'm sure that his character in this new movie will be like, that'll be really interesting to see. Yeah. I think they'll go in a different direction. It's gonna be something unique. Uncut Gems like really blew me away. I think I have high expectations for this one, you know? They'll put their best foot forward with it. Yeah, man. Safdie Brothers, Adam Sandler.
Let us know what you think. You excited for it?
Yeah. Slide on him. I've been kind of going a little bit through Michael Haneke's filmography. You've seen Funny Games. Mm-hmm. I like Funny Games a lot.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
No. I watched Benny's Video from 1992. And then I watched The Piano Teacher from 2001. The thing about The Piano Teacher, after I watched it, like, I haven't been able to, like, get out of my head, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, the past couple nights, I've been, like, thinking about it. Like, I think it kind of, like, disturbed me and traumatized me to, like, my core, bro. It's a great movie now. Like, I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but it's probably, like, a 5-star movie because of just how much I've been thinking about it and the sort of, like, disturbing aspect to it and it's a very human aspect as well. Mm-hmm. If you know about Michael Haneke, I think he's a great artist and he's also a provocateur. And he's also kind of like twists your nerves a little bit and kind of like makes you feel uncomfortable. But he really takes his time with his movies. And with a movie like The Piano Teacher, it's almost like you're watching a boring con movie for the first part of it. And you're like, oh, this is like really slow, like taking its time, like, oh, art, piano, blah, blah, blah. And then it just like slowly like goes, like gets darker and darker. And then he took it there and like took some risks and shown some things that I hadn't really seen something like that before.
Yeah. I know a movie's really good when I go to sleep and I wake up thinking about it the next morning.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes movies hit me like that, where like, I won't even know how good they are until I wake up the next morning. I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, whoa, there's something about this that just really like challenges the way I think about something, you know?
Yeah. And like I said, I watched The Piano Teacher on the front end of a double feature because I like to watch the art house film and then I like to watch some dumb shit. And I watched The Wizard of Gore by Herschel Gordon Lewis. And I was hoping that was going to like curb my, take the edge off of this thing I just watched. Because when I saw Benny's Video, and then I watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral right after that. I think that kind of helped, like, rinse my palate off of, like, what was going on. But The Piano Teacher, like, the last couple of nights, I've literally been, like, laying in bed, like, thinking about it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really about this, like, person who we think is, like, really strict and, like, a bitch in the beginning. And you find out, really, that she's actually just a person that has a hard time connecting with someone intimately. Mm-hmm. And the way she connects with someone intimately is like through like sadomasochistic ways. Mm-hmm. Like she wants to get like beat and stuff. Mm-hmm. She wants to find intimacy, but she like can't. She's not able to connect with this like young boy, this young man. It's really heartbreaking. She's in her early 40s. She's living with her mother, who's like, she's like a helicopter mom for her. She's like, doesn't let her go out, doesn't let her do anything, always asks where she is. And she has to like lie to her mom when she wants to go like see a movie or like go shopping or something. And when she goes out, she goes to like sex shops where she watches like people have sex. Like she watches like videos of people having sex, little peep show rooms. Mm-hmm. And there's scenes of her going to drive-in theaters and like she like goes to a car and like sees that someone's having sex in there and she like watches them have sex while she like takes a pee. Mm-hmm. She like mutilates herself, like her genitalia with like a razor blade.
Oh God.
And and that's like the slow build up to like what's really going on. And we find out her dad is in an asylum, and then her dad like dies in this thing, and we don't really know. Like I think the subtle exposition about that is that she's fucked up either because her dad was a lunatic or like her mom, she was like some trauma, and there's no explicit reason why she can't be intimate or the way that she can be intimate is if she's like abused. The first time in the film where she tries to have sex with this guy, she gets like sick and like throws up. And that's not even like the worst. That's not even like the most fucked up part.
Yeah, I know.
Of the movie,
but it's all this stuff already. It's just like
it's really like this character piece on this woman. Yeah, I was really taken aback by this picture. I think it's kind of a masterpiece, and it's very and the style of it is very very minimalist, which I fuck with. There's no music in it from the beginning credits to the end credit. There's no music. The only music that's in it is when they're actually playing the piano inside of the movie, and I like that. It's very Bressonian. It's like kind of Bresson meets Bergman, specifically Autumn Sonata.
Okay.
You know, because she's like this really strict piano teacher who's very talented, very prolific, and everyone wants to like work at her school. But then you kind of, the layers are kind of peeled back. How she wants this young man to treat her isn't like how he wants to do it, because it's just like this fucked up shit. But I'm gonna watch more of Michael Haneke's pictures. It's a movie that like I've heard about for a long time, and people say it's fucked up, and I didn't really know why it was fucked up. It really goes there and takes its risks, and it's not. There's no like redemption to it. I won't spoil the ending or anything, but if you can handle it, like it's definitely a piece of art that's worth checking out.
Okay.
And if you're like a fan of Michael Haneke and kind of more extreme cinema, that's also very real. Like this all could happen. This all could be real. Isabelle Huppert gives a performance of a career. We decided that we wanted to do a little Tarantino ranked video. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do, and also those videos on YouTube are kind of fun to watch. We'll just give it a try, you know. We did the Film Brats ranking. I like the ranking stuff. It's cool. It's fun. It's just fun to do and stuff, you know. And it's just my list, you know. It's just my opinion. You might have a different list. We might differ on things, but this is my list. And
just because like a movie's at the bottom of our list doesn't mean we think it's bad. We like all of these movies. If we were forced to rank them, this is how personally we would rank them. And
yeah, definitely really cool movies for young men like us.
Yeah, I mean, when we're young, And I get it if he's not for you. I totally get that. But we like it.
Yeah, we're big fans. It's no big secret. And to preface this, we're ranking 10 movies because we're counting Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2 as two different movies. I know Tarantino says, Kill Bill 1 and 2 are one movie. It's just Volume 1, Volume 2. It's all one movie. Well, the movies came out like 2 years in between each other, both volumes. We had to pay twice to go see them. So, you know what, Tarantino? It's fucking 2 movies, bro.
Sorry, Quentin.
For my number 10 pick, I have The Hateful Eight from 2015. It was dope seeing The Hateful Eight when it first came out in 2015. I went to go see it with my stepdad and my grandma. And she had an interesting experience, to say the least. It was a 70mm roadshow version. So originally it was released limited cities across America, and it's a 70mm presentation, which had an overture. And then it had a intermission. So it was like 3.5 hour long movie. The Hateful Eight is a great little murder mystery, Agatha Christie mystery. The Ennio Morricone score, one of his best scores. Ennio Morricone score in that, I love listening to it. It's the only Tarantino movie where he had an original soundtrack. Takes music from other places and puts in his own movies. He takes scores from other pictures back in the 60s, 70s, puts in his movie. But this time, he was like, no, Ennio Morricone, I'm going to trust you with the soul to my film. And he delivered, because the soundtrack is amazing, especially the first part where it's like, and the overture really sets the mood. It's a really good touch if you went to go see it, its original release. I do have a couple problems with the picture. One of them, I think he should have reeled it in more with the editing. It's very bloated. It's a very long, bloated film. A lot of dialogue. It's almost like he's kind of blowing himself a little bit with the dialogue. It's a little too much. There could have been some editing with that. There's a couple casting choices that you could tell they were written for someone else.
Like who?
There's this doctor named Oswaldo Mowbray, who's played by Timothy Roth. That role, you can tell, was supposed to be written for
Christopher Walken?
The GOAT, Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz. It's the same. He would have nailed this role. Then the movie that came out after Django Unchained and before that, Inglourious Bastards. Christoph Waltz is probably the most acclaimed, has the 2 best performances out of any Tarantino movie. And you can see that this role was written for that. I just don't think that Timothy's performance really had the caliber to carry such a sophisticated linguistic genius as a Christoph Waltz. That I had a little bit of trouble with. It was a little bit pretentious with that role. And then my final thing, which is probably the most important thing, the ending wasn't that cathartic for me.
Yeah. Compared
to his other pictures. It wasn't as interesting in the end. It was definitely violent, but it just didn't have that kick, that arc, that cathartic purging that I enjoy in most of Tarantino's pictures.
Yeah.
And that's where my flaws lay with the film, and it's at the bottom of the list. But it's still a fun watch. I watch it every year. I watched the extended version on Netflix. I saw it several times in theaters when it came out. Yeah, those are my thoughts. What about you, Jacob? What's your number 10?
Yeah, my number 10. My number 10 film. Yeah, my number 10 film is Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, that's actually my number 9 pick. So this is interesting. This is a good dialogue. But talk about Kill Bill 2.
So Kill Bill Volume 1, I love a lot. It's so cool. The action's so, like, it hits. And it leaves you with, like, a very climactic ending where, you know, she cuts off Lucy Liu's head. That whole fight is just fucking phenomenal. You kind of go to Kill Bill Volume 2, and I feel like the pacing's kind of off. Just didn't have that action feel that I was looking for in the first one. You know, it sucks when there's a sequel and you have to compare something, and the sequel is, like, worse than the original. Yeah. Because then, like, the differences really stand out to you. And you can really, like, compare them side by side.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's, like, not even a sequel because it was all written as one movie and they shot it all as one movie. And it wasn't until Harvey Weinstein was like, hey, you're shooting a lot. Like, you're going to have to cut a lot of this out. Let's make it into 2 volumes. And you get Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. But, like I said, number 9 for me, my ranking is Kill Bill 2. It's kind of similar reasons for you. It's like, really long. It's not as interesting. The fights aren't as cool. And also, the similar flaw that I had with The Hateful Eight is the catharsis in the end. You're ending this saga, and finally she's facing off with Bill, and you're kind of expecting some sort of fight, you know, some sort of big fight scene. You don't even get it. You know, it's just kind of like a couple punches. Also, there's definitely a reason, like my theory behind why that didn't happen. I'm sure that it was written to be a big fight, but you know, during the production of Kill Bill, there's that controversial footage of Uma Thurman driving and getting into, like, she got into that crash where she got injured. And I think the reason why they weren't able to shoot this big final battle scene is because of that crash, because she was injured. That's just my theory on it. It makes sense.
Yeah, it could make sense, but it could also be, you know, kind of a more mature take on the ending, which is, you know, they're both growing as, like, people, and they're growing as, like, parents, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there is something, like, I agree with you. I was expecting, like, some kind of fight, and that would have been cool, because I feel like that would have been really kept with the theme of Kill Bill.
Like, why is your greatest action sequence supposed to be in, like, the first part of your movie, of your saga? Like,
because it's supposed to be more of a, like, melancholic ending. Like, more of, like just kind of like a sad thing. She performs that move on him and kills him, you know, but, like, it just didn't hit for me. I didn't like the pacing. I felt like the pacing was off.
Yeah.
If we're rating Kill Bill as, like, one movie, that's going to be really high on my list. But just because Kill Bill Volume 2 stands alone, I would put it at the bottom. Just because it feels incomplete to me because you don't have that first time.
Yeah, it's just not as good, and it's way, like, longer than the first one, where it doesn't, like, need to be. But yeah, what's your number 9 pick?
My number 9 is Hateful Eight. Like you said, I just kind of, like, I felt like the pacing was off. The characters, I didn't like that much. No character really, like, stuck with me. They were all kind of, like, bad people, aside from Samuel Jackson. I mean, this is, like, a really good performance from him, but I felt like he kind of had to carry this movie, where the other cast, I felt like, didn't really have a time to shine. I don't like that you feel so claustrophobic in this one thing, but I did like that it was a murder mystery. There were aspects of it that I really did like. I liked the on-set shooting, like, with the real snow. It looks so fucking amazing when, like, the beginning when they're, like, driving into this cabin. I like the twists in it where Channing Tatum, like, kind of comes out from under the floor, you know? You really don't see it coming. And I do like the ending where they're hanging her, but, like, at the same time, I just couldn't feel like, I never felt like I, like, really got some kind of satisfaction from that movie.
Number 8 on the ranking is Death Proof from 2007. We talked about it on the channel before. What can we say? It's like a tight little exploitation movie. It's got all the bits into it. But the thing of why this ranks higher than Hateful Eight and Kill Bill 2 is the end, like, the fucking 20-minute chase in the end is so satisfying to watch, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like look forward to and stuff. Like this is like the first one on the list where he actually really brings it all the way through. I know that people think that Death Proof is his worst movie, but I really don't think it is his worst movie. I think it's actually really concise. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Gritty little homage to the grindhouses of that period, and it's cool in style and function and characters and dialogue, and it's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Like Grindhouse and kind of like feels a lot more indie. I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah, me too.
Where it feels like the film's all scratched and everything, and it just feels like kind of dirty and low production. Something about that is like very charming to me, and I felt like there was a complete idea here. He executes it to the best of his abilities. Car scenes are so fucking good. All the practicals on it are like fucking amazing. But for what it is, I think it's like very worthy for like an 8 spot, because I did really enjoy myself watching it. So my number 7 pick, which might be controversial, my number 7 pick is Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
It's a great movie. It has a lot of really, really great parts in it. The writing's fucking amazing. It's his debut. Of course it's going to be, like, really good. This is what got him on the map. This is where people saw what fucking Tarantino can do. And I thought the cast is really good. The way the story plays out is so satisfying. I just like some of his other movies more.
Yeah, I mean, that's also one of the greatest debuts of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He just came out with, like, a bang with this tight script, like one location. Yeah, interesting. But anyways, I'll get into I don't have Reservoir Dogs as number 7. I got Jackie Brown as number 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is his junior effort. It's an adaptation from the Elmer Leonard novel Rum Punch. I like Jackie Brown a lot. It's a really cool hangout, sort of like homage to the 70s crime investigative thriller. Pam Grier's amazing. She's hot as fuck in this. She's so cool. Sam Jackson's great. Robert De Niro kind of plays outside of his wheelhouse in this film. Kind of like this loser convict guy. You got Bridget Fonda in there. Another movie that he set in LA, but it's like more of this like hangout, stoner, chill vibe and Hermosa Beach. This caper is going on, and I like the story a lot. I like how he adapted the novel, and I like how she and the character of Jackie Brown is badass. And also we got Robert Forster in there.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. to him. Medium cool baby. I like how she 2 times the feds and Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
And I love the ending. I love the whole mall sequence and stuff. The way he shows it like 3 different ways. That's very Tarantino, and that's like that time, space, and memory shit that he does. I love it when he brings that to the table, because that's really what made him unique.
And that was your number 8 spot?
That was my number 7.
My number 6 is Jackie Brown. I like it a little more than Reservoir Dogs. It kind of like is a little cooler for me. I think Jackie Brown's like a cooler hangout movie. I love the LA, like definitely feels very like Long Beach, Hermosa Beach feel. Like definitely like makes me feel like California is fucking awesome. Like happy I like live here. Yeah, Pam Grier is like fucking amazing in it. I love that there's like a female lead in a Tarantino film. The supporting cast is fucking amazing. Sam Jackson like plays his ass off in this movie. He's like so good and so like terrifying at the same time. Robert Forster is like really good. You have the dude who plays Batman as the cop too. And
yeah, Michael Keaton, yeah.
Michael Keaton's in it. Robert De Niro's fucking like great in it, just playing this like fucking convict. I really like the movie. It's like a great like fun movie.
For sure. It's a great film. My number 6 pick is Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs, for me, is a very inspiring film because he literally just like wrote this tight-ass script, and originally he was just going to shoot it himself, $30,000 for the money he got from selling True Romance. Yeah, I just think like it's all in the script, baby. This movie is all in the script, and I love the time, space, and memory stuff that he does. I love the linear, non-linear storyline about like how we see this event unfold and the characters and how they reveal themselves. It's just so tight. Yeah, and that, like I said, like the time, space, and memory thing is really what made him unique as a storyteller. I love the scene. My favorite scene in it is probably when he's trying to convince Joe Cabot, the boss, that he's like actually like a criminal, and he tells this crazy detailed story when he's in the bathroom with this like pound of weed and the cops come in and they're barking, and there's that scene, like, just the editing in that, and the dialogue, and, like, the sound design. It's so good, dude. Mm-hmm. Such a good, one of the greatest debuts of all time, for sure. I mean, what can we say?
Yeah.
He really nailed it. He really hit a home run off the rip.
What's your fifth?
My fifth, which is going to be his penultimate film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, mine as well.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love watching that movie. I watch it, like, every time I watch it, it gets better and better every time. You just notice different things. Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. What more can I say? As a student of film and film history, especially that era, that transitional, like, era, it's really interesting. It really is made for me as, like, a film lover and someone who wants to know more about that time, too.
Yeah. There's so much, like, little details in this movie. They're so fascinating. It's a great hangout movie. It's probably the best production ever in a Tarantino movie. It's so good. Everything looks so clean, and it's, like, so stylized, and looks, like, so of the time. It's hard not to just be blown away by, like, the scope of this movie. The cast is fucking amazing. I know it's not for everyone. Some people find this movie really boring. Some people find this movie, like, controversial. But for me personally, like, I thought it was, like, a fun little hangout movie.
Yeah, and, like, this movie is a hangout movie, but, like, the ending is so fucking cool and unexpected. Mm-hmm. You totally cannot see the ending coming at all. Like, it's so fucking cool. And, like, this whole, like, this is his least violent film. Like, my mom, like, has watched this movie. She can't watch the other shit because that's, like, probably too disturbing for her. But this movie, like, my mom can watch it. You don't, like, it's so, like, not violent at all, like 90% of the movie, and then you just get, like, this, like, sort of, like, bloodbath, like this Manson, like, bloodbath that happens in the end, and it's so cool. And then he does another thing which makes it really unique is sort of his revisionist history, real history that he, like, turns into his own, which he's done before, but he does it again in this, and that's, like, a very unique Tarantino trait that I, like, really like, which makes him different and kind of creatively thinks outside the box and stuff. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What more can we say about it? Watch it a lot. What's your number 4 pick?
My number 4 pick is Kill Bill, Volume 1.
Me too.
Yeah?
Kill Bill Volume 1, bro.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. The action's so good. Just, like, the way they tell the story, the sequences, the way they set up the characters. It's definitely Lady Snowblood influence mixed with, like, anime mixed with, like, a western, and it's just pulled it off so well. And, like, God, this is, like, where he really got that style of, like, how violent his movies can be, because it's just, like, just a huge bloodbath, and it's almost comical, but it's so fucking cool that it just keeps it over the edge of comedy.
The battle scene works so well. The colors, the silhouettes, and then, like, the final battle with Lucy Liu, and the editing and the sound effects, and just the Yakuza. The Yakuza stuff is the coolest thing in the whole story. The Yakuza stuff is, like, really cool, and then you get, like, the montage fighting. You got your fucking non-linear shit where it's like chapter 1, 2, like, it's so cool. Like, and then she's crossing out her lists and stuff. And the thing is, like, the first person that she kills on her list is actually, like, at the end of the movie. Yeah. I love that. I love that shit. It's just a fun, badass movie. The soundtrack's great. Uma Thurman, badass. I love the mythology of the sword, the Hattori Hanzo sword that gets set up.
I love this. I love the flashbacks at the beginning in the chapel when they, like, shoot her, and, like, it's black and white. Just that photography's so good.
And the credits and the whole hospital sequence, and that's my number 4 pick. What do you got on number 3, dude?
Getting down to it. My number 3 pick is Glorious Bastards.
Dude, that's my number 3 pick, too.
Yeah. Okay, we kind of nailed the end of this list, yeah.
Yeah, Glorious Bastards. What can we say? It's a fucking masterpiece. A lot of Tarantino fans say that this is actually his best movie. I think it's interesting when we talk about it, because Tarantino fans saying Glorious Bastards is his best movie. General audiences say that, like, the critical reception say that Pulp Fiction is his best movie. He says that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his best movie. Yeah. But Tarantino fans, people, like, it seems like the kind of the rhetoric and the consensus is that Inglourious Bastards might actually be their favorite and, like, best movie. And I can give it the top spot any day. It makes my top 3. but I can give it a top spot any day, and I can see why, because it's a masterpiece.
It is. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Like,
it's badass as fuck. It's just
Yeah.
a badass. Anything you want in a Tarantino movie,
yeah.
it's in this, bro.
Christoph Waltz, so good in it. Brad
Oh my
Pitt
God.
and the whole Bastards are so fucking good in it. The whole theater scene, so
Oh my
fucking
God,
good in it.
bro.
And that whole storyline. Like, dude, yeah, I could see this being top any day. Any day. For me personally, there are two that I just like a little bit more. It's a great movie. It's a fucking phenomenal masterpiece of a movie.
He just like fucking kills Hitler in it.
Yeah, he just fucking kills Hitler.
Yeah, like what? It's just like,
how could this not be like a top movie, you know?
No, it just like he kills Hitler, and like we all know how Hitler died unless you're a fucking moron. It's just funny, like what if you show Inglourious Basterds to someone who doesn't know like about Hitler's history? Like it's like, oh, that's how Hitler was killed. Like he does his own like an alternative history, which is the first time he does that, and it's so cool, so dope.
Yeah.
The violence, you got the dialogue, you got the story, you got the set pieces, the bunker scene, like the bar scene.
Oh, the bar scene's so intense. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's all so clever. It's so nicely wove. The editing. I don't know how he didn't win Best Original Screenplay. He lost to the Hurt Locker, dude.
Catherine Bigelow. I gave it to her, dude.
Mark Bull. Mark Bull.
Mark Bull?
Yeah.
The writer?
Yeah.
Hurt Locker, it's good.
It's good, but Inglourious Basterds didn't, like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, yeah. I mean, Christoph Waltz standout breakthrough performance. He pretty much makes the whole movie himself as well. This came at an interesting time in Tarantino's career. The Kill Bills, I think the fans really fuck with them, but they weren't, like, super critically acclaimed. And then, you know, Kill Bill Volume 2 kind of dips, and you kind of get Death Proof, which is, like, technically a flop, maybe not as critically acclaimed. But then, like, you're kind of like, okay, well, maybe Tarantino had this arc with, like, his first films and slowly goes down. And then when he made Inglourious Basterds, he was solidified as the GOAT.
Yeah.
It was like, no, this guy still had it in him.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Like make a fucking one of the greatest films ever, one of the greatest war films, adventure guys on a mission film. So that was both our third picks. What's your second pick?
My second pick is Django.
Yeah, my second pick is Django Unchained, and I think I can guess why we have it both at the same spot. Back in 2012, December 27th, when I was 16 years old, and you and me, my stepdad, and then your foreign exchange student, Conrad went to go see Django Unchained. It's probably the greatest theater experience I ever had in my life.
Really? Damn, yeah. It was really fun. It was really, really fun seeing that.
No, it really just hit. I was like a 16-year-old watching a movie like that about this black, like, slave turned cowboy.
Fucking badass, dude. Jamie Foxx is so fucking badass by the end of that movie.
No, I had never seen a movie like it before, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It really changed my whole perspective on films in general. Mm-hmm. And usually my favorite films are the ones that, like, change my perspective. Seeing Django Unchained for the first time, I realized what a director was. I realized really what a director could do and the control they had and how personalized it could be. The story, the violence, fucking catharsis, the ending, bro. You're like rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
At the end, dude. It's just so fucking cool.
Yeah. The whole story just feels like so badass, and just he's trying to get back his, like, wife, you know, and just like how he goes from, like, literally in chains, rags, to by the end he's just so fucking badass and capable. No one's ever gonna fuck with him again, you know? Mm-hmm. It's funny, too. Like, the comedy in it is, like, really fucking funny.
Christoph Waltz, dude.
Christoph Waltz plays the same character he played in Inglourious Basterds, pretty much, except his morals are just completely opposite.
Yeah.
Is so good in this one, and you really, like, instead of, like you fucking hate him in Inglourious Basterds, in this one, you're just, like, so rooting for him. He's, like, the greatest dude ever to Django. Yeah, he's amazing, and no, he's such a snake and Inglourious Basterds, but then this one he's like such a gentleman with principles, and he's this dope ass bounty hunter. I just love the climax of Django Unchained. It's probably my favorite climax of all the Tarantino movies. Yeah. The shootout is just so fucking cool. Yeah. I remember just seeing it. I was blown away, dude. It blew me away. Yeah. And I think it's like my personal favorite. It's like my most personal film with him because it really got me into his filmography, and then also just discovery of films in general. Like, this is like an entry film to me becoming like a real student of cinema in general. Mm-hmm. And the power of cinema, what it can do.
for like the impact it can have. Robert Richardson's photography.
Oh, so good. I mean, he's so fucking good. Like
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I hope they just like collab. Robert Richardson and him seem to just like collab on everything since, and I hope they stay doing that.
Yeah. And this did win the best original screenplay.
It did.
I guess there's nothing super innovative about the storytelling like he does with his other movies. Like, it's very straightforward, linear. Like, you get like kind of typical flashback stuff in there, but like other than that, it's very linear. Like the hero's journey type beat that he did. You know, it's still like my personal favorite probably. That and then the number one spot is like his most impactful films for me.
Yeah.
And our number one pick for both of us is the 1994 Palme d'Or winner Pulp Fiction with John Travolta, Samuel Jackson, Bruce Willis, Uma Thurman, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Rosanna Arquette, Eric Stoltz, Ving Rhames, Steve Buscemi, Quentin Tarantino, Harvey Keitel, just to name a few.
Keep going. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction it's my number one spot because it's so unique, like just eclectic, and draws you in, it keeps you interested. All the different storylines, 3 different storylines kind of woven together to make one movie. It never feels like they're trying to preach anything to you. It just feels like you're kind of witnessing all these characters' lives, and it's just so like snappy. The dialogue's so fucking good. Again, holds it all together. It's so condensed and so tightly done. I have to give it to it. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest films ever made. It might be like the greatest movie ever made. It's avant-garde as a piece of art.
That's what the charm comes in. Is it's so like French New Wave-esque.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's avant-garde. It's definitely a piece of art, and the way he does the non-linear storytelling, and it's so fresh and new. And I feel like it's so postmodern. Everything after that felt old. He just really like flips the switch, and the sort of this comedic violence that goes on. You know, so it's like a black comedy, crime drama, thriller. It's an impeccable. That's really like his masterpiece, magnum opus, and I'm pretty sure it was just an accident. It just happened to be that way. She was just trying to be Godard, dude, and unexpectedly just created a masterpiece. Greatest film of the 90s, probably. It is so highly regarded. People talk about it a lot, but it is one of the greatest pictures ever made. It's just so cutting edge, and the non-linear time, space, and memory aspects of it. Yeah, there's not really much else to say about it. I mean, it's Pulp Fiction. What can you say?
Yeah, that's our list. Got pretty similar at the end there. Kind of hit all the beats since the top 5. Kind of know what we like. We like all these movies.
Yeah, that's our list.